The following is a PCN Sports presentation.
Tonight from Hershey Park Stadium, PCN presents the PIAA 5A Football Championship game. The matchup features the 10-3 Archbishop Wood Vikings and the 14-1 Cheltenham Panthers. Good evening, everyone, and welcome. Our coverage of the PIAA Football Championships continue alongside Ross Tucker. My name is Bob McCool. Archbishop Wood won the District 12 championship. Cheltenham won the District 1 championship. And you may have heard the name Archbishop Wood if you follow high school football in the state of Pennsylvania. Cheltenham, maybe not so much, but do not be fooled. This is a very athletic bunch of Panthers.
Yeah, it should be an awesome game. I mean, you love it. Cheltenham, first time here ever. Archbishop Wood seems like they're here every year, but it's a different Archbishop Wood team for sure. Make no mistake about it. Small senior class. They don't have that huge offensive line we're used to. They're not littered with Division I players. They are just tough. Meanwhile, Cheltenham, they are fast. Should be fun.
It should be. And again, for Archbishop Wood, it's a whole nother coaching regime as well. Steve Devlin did a phenomenal job at his time. He has moved on to coach at the college ranks after 11 seasons, but he won 5 state championships. His first came with Kyle Atkins as a defensive back on that first state championship team back in 2011. Now the graduate becomes the coach, and now in his second season as a head coach, he is 19-7. But he's still taking that same Archbishop Wood philosophy of running the football, and Kalen Costello has become that guy.
He has. Kyle Atkins, by the way, making me feel old. We called that game in 2011. Now he's the head coach. But Kalen Costello, I mean, every year Archbishop Wood's here, they run the ball very effectively. Costello's the latest guy. Really took over that running back job about halfway through the season. He has been electric in the playoffs. Had a couple of long runs against Gateway that were the difference for the Vikings to be able to get back here to Hershey yet again.
And for Cheltenham, well, they're back here to Hershey for one reason. That's because their semifinal victory over Cacalico was played in this stadium. But Ryan Nace, what a phenomenal job he has done. He knows all about the Philadelphia Catholic League because he played in it, played at Father Judge High School. But now in his third season at Cheltenham High School, 24 wins, 13 losses, okay. But he is 2-8 in his first year, and he has built a program here, and he's taken a page out of what a lot of people do with a spread offense, but great athletes to run that spread offense, and the guy to take the charge of it all, maybe the best name in the tournament, Adonis Hunter.
Well, and they've got a lot of talent, Jameer Barnes, some of the other speed, but Hunter's the guy that runs it. And you see anytime, especially you're watching, Bob, college football these days, so much zone read option, so many RPOs. Hunter is that guy. Does it with his arm, does it with his legs, does a terrific job making the reads that are necessary in that offense and getting the ball on the perimeter to his playmakers.
Well, the state of Pennsylvania geographically is pretty large, but when you take a look at these two teams, there's not a whole lot of separation between the two. In fact, 10 miles between the two. Cheltenham in Wyncote, Pennsylvania, which is in Montgomery County. Archbishop Wood is in Warminster, which is in Bucks County. But I'm telling you, there is 10 miles between these two schools. You could take a ride up 611 and you'd be from one to the other in a pretty quick order if the traffic's not too bad in Philadelphia. Let's go with that. However, the road to get to this state championship may be a little bit more difficult. For Archbishop Wood, they first had to take care of Martin Luther King to get out of District 12. Then they beat Southern Lehigh, the District 11 champion, and then a last-second field goal to take out the District 7 champion in Gateway a week ago. Cheltenham, it's been a couple of shootouts in a row. They won the district championship game over Academy Park by a final score of 43-42, and then last week in the semifinal against Cacalico, 56-49. So this much we can say about the Panthers. They can put points on the board. Can they do it against Archbishop Wood? It's going to be the sign.
And it's really interesting, too, Bob, because I think that District 3 and District 7 were probably the two best districts this year at the 5A level. I mean, think about District 7, you have Gateway and McKeesport and Penn Trafford and Peters Township and all them. District 3 had Cacalico and Warwick and Manheim Central. but neither one of them are here.
Right.
It's a couple of schools at Philly that made it all the way here. And we'll see whether it's the physicality of Archbishop Wood or the speed of Cheltenham.
And again, as you said, and I always say that the great equalizer of high school sports is graduation. It is not your big brother's Archbishop Wood football team. It's a different look to Archbishop Wood, but again, they have at least been here before. Cheltenham has not. I think the first few minutes has got to be very important.
Anytime you've got a blue blood, if you will, like Archbishop Wood going against a newbie like Cheltenham, you do have to see how the first few minutes go. Are the nerves there for Cheltenham? The good news is they played here last week against Cacalico here in Hershey, so they at least have a familiarity playing here. And you're right, you look at Archbishop Wood, not the same team we're used to. They don't have that huge offensive line, and they also aren't littered with Division I players. They're just a darn good high school football team.
Yeah, and it's a lot of underclassmen as well for Archbishop Wood. Not only is their coach young, but they are young as well. So we'll see. I mean, for Archbishop Wood, there could be some nerves as well, just because it's littered with sophomores and juniors out there.
Well, and you would think that Archbishop Wood, as they take the field, will have a really good team next year as well. I mean, their running back, their quarterback, so many guys are juniors. So we might see Archbishop Wood back here yet again a year from now.
But for Cheltenham, again, they are the newbie, as Ross said. They are here, but they are here with a purpose. They, again, very athletic team. And Adonis Hunter, distribution of the football, he has been very good at it, whether they're running the football with Jameer Barnes or getting the football into the hands of people like TJ Harris who can just take it to the house.
Yeah, they've got all kinds of speed. I mean, you mentioned it, TJ Harris, Jameer Barnes, who's going to Monmouth, Nate Edwards. They give him the ball a lot on jet sweeps. I mean, they've got 3 or 4 guys that can take it the distance anytime they get the football in their hands.
So from an Archbishop Wood standpoint, defensively, obviously containing the edge becomes a high priority.
There's no question. They were able to get the edge against Cacalico, and they took it to the house. Kyle Atkins and his team, usually very disciplined. I'm pretty confident they'll have a good plan. We'll see if Cheltenham's able to counter it.
And we'll find out very shortly. The captains will start to make their way to midfield. We'll have our coin toss, our national anthem, and get you set. It's the 5A Football State Championship. Archbishop Wood, the champions from District 12, taking on the champions from District 1, the Cheltenham Panthers, who are 14-1. One of them's coming out with a PIAA gold in 2019. Again, Vikings looking for their 6th overall state title. Cheltenham looking for their first. One will win the gold tonight.
They raise funds and awareness for special needs programs. Tonight we have the pleasure of hosting our honorary captains and their families, as they are a big part of the team and the PIAA championships. I call your attention to midfield as we welcome tonight's honorary captains. Honorary captain for Cheltenham, please welcome Derek Israel. And Archbishop Wood, honorary captain Matt Beckman. Welcome to PIAA Championship Football. Captains meeting with the officials at midfield for Archbishop Wood. Their captains, 22, Ryan DiVergilis.
Winner of the coin
51.
toss, and they'll receive.
55, Thomas Pomponi. Captain for Cheltenham, number 12, Zachary Gaffin. And now, ladies and gentlemen, prior to kickoff, we'd ask you please rise. Gentlemen, if you please remove your hats. We'd ask all military personnel, active or retired, if you please render a hand salute as we honor the United States of America. Salute its leaders and members of the armed forces with the singing of the Star-Spangled Banner, to be sung by Emma McQuinn from Lower Dauphin High School. Ladies and gentlemen, we present with pride and much gratitude our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you.
Time for kickoff here, the 5A state championship. But before we do that, we check into the third member of our broadcast team, Meg Bolger, on the sidelines.
Now, although 10 miles separate these two teams geographically, relationship ties run a little bit deeper. Archbishop Wood head coach Kyle Atkins, of course, graduated from there in 2012. And although Cheltenham's head coach Ryan Nace did not graduate from there, his wife Katie did. She even taught at the school for many years. Ryan joked and said that she teases him, but of course is supportive. But the same cannot be said for his 5-year-old twins, CJ and Kaylin. He said they've been teasing him all week. Mommy's team's gonna win. So I think he needs this win just to go home tonight, guys.
It'll be a great road trip home for Ryan Nace if he can give it back to his twin son and daughter just a little bit. He is a great conversation before the game. Ryan Nace, really a good guy, and Kyle Atkins, a bright young football mind.
Both of these very impressive young head coaches. Getting a chance to talk to both of them before the game. You can see how they got their teams here.
Cheltenham will receive the football. Archbishop Wood won the toss and elected to receive. So Cheltenham in the home blue with the gold trim. Archbishop Wood in the visiting white jerseys, black pants, and unfortunately for us, the yellow numbers to go along with those white jerseys to make it a little bit difficult to find those numbers to some degree. But Lou Litka, the kicker for Cheltenham, drills this one with the wind behind his back in through and out of the back of the end zone. And so on the touchback, Cheltenham will go on defense. Archbishop Wood will get the football to start on the offensive side at the 20-yard line. Under the direction of quarterback Max Keller, 6'1", 180-pound junior. Doesn't throw the whole ball a whole lot, 57% completion percentage, but just under 1,200 yards passing and 17 touchdowns, leading the way for the Vikings. Starting 1st and 10 from their own 20. Sends a man in motion, fakes a jet sweep, but he wants to hand it off, and he gets stood up immediately. Defensive play and a good one by Zach Gaffin for Cheltenham, stacking up the quarterback at the line of scrimmage for no gain. As we take a look at the starters for the Vikings. Up front, the center is Owen Coyle. The guards are Mason Iacovelli and Cole Evans. The tackles, Charlie Mininger and Dom D'Alessio. The tight end is David Armstrong. Andrew McHugh and Ryan Wirtz will be the wideouts. Ryan DiVergilis is their jack of all trades. When they go out of that I formation, it'll be Shane Collier as the fullback. Kalen Costello, as we talked about, is the tailback, with Keller running the show. Keller does run with the football the first play and gets back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Now they'll give it to Costello, and Cheltenham defense is all over him after he pushes forward for about 2 yards. Makes it 3rd and 8, and we'll look at that defense that's trying to stack up the Vikings. The Panthers defense has Yasir Jenkins and Darren Zayamankan as the defensive ends. You heard me right. Nasir Carson and Joseph Thomas are the tackles. Sam Sykes and Nate Edwards are the outside backers. Zach Gaffin, John Mark Foreman are the inside backers. Jameer Barnes and Camden Wyatt are the corners, and TJ Harris is the free safety, as the Vikings are on a 3rd and 7 at their own 22-yard line. Keller on a sprint out to his right, stops, plants, wants to throw, looking for a man, trying to make a diving catch. Even if they hold on, it's going to be shy of the first down marker. And so Cheltenham does its job on defense as Andrew McHugh tried to make the diving catch, could not hold on. It'll bring up 4th down, and they will punt the football.
And that is a significant 3-and-out for Cheltenham. You know, given the amount of yards and points they gave up the last couple games, every stop is significant for them. To get a 3-and-out, especially those run stuffs on the first 2 downs, impressive.
Ryan Morgan will punt the football. TJ Harris is the return man. He will let it go. It will trickle to about the 50-yard line. So Cheltenham, with 10 minutes and 27 seconds left to go in the first quarter, takes possession in a great spot right at midfield after a 29-yard punt. Cheltenham, again, we talked about Adonis Hunter in the pregame. 55% completion percentage, 26 touchdowns, and just 6 interceptions to go along with it.
He's had a terrific year. If you're going to run this offense, you need a guy like Adonis Hunter that can do it with his arm and his legs. They do such a nice job of giving the linebackers and the secondary for the opponent something to think about. So much jet motion as well as ghost motions around the quarterback.
So from the shotgun, from the 50-yard line, Cheltenham starts on offense, and Hunter wants to throw right away. TJ Harris makes the catch, and Archbishop Wood's defense is all over him, and they will drill him to the ground. Forward progress will give him about 2 yards. As we look at the offensive starters for the Panthers, Nasir Carson is the center. Joseph Thomas and Ziaman Khan are the guards. Nathaniel Felix and Brendan Canali are the tackles. John Mark Foreman is the tight end. The 3 wideouts, TJ Harris, Nate Edwards, Sadiq Williams. Jameer Barnes is a 1,000-yard rusher as the tailback spot, with Hunter as the quarterback. After the 3-yard completion to Harris, 2nd and 7 from the 47. This time is Jameer Barnes getting nothing against the Viking defense. And here is that defense. The tackles, Owen Coyle, Charlie Mininger. The ends, Robert Jackson, Dom DeLessio. The outside backers, Nathan Taylor and Ryan Diambra. The inside backers are Shane Collier and Tom Poponi. The corners, Kalen Costello and A.J. Minners. The safeties, Ryan DiVergilis and Ryan Wirtz. No gain on the play for Barnes on his first carry. And it'll be third to actually lost a yard, so it's now 3rd down and 8 coming up back at the 48-yard line. Naked backfield for Hunter as Barnes goes in motion from right wing to left, and a flag comes in. Actually, a timeout called before the play clock comes to a stop.
Archbishop Wood.
And actually, it was Archbishop Wood who called the timeout. Very interesting early timeout called by the Vikings.
Well, obviously, 3rd and long. For them to use a timeout there had to be something they really didn't like. Somebody either didn't get the call or was misaligned, because you don't want to waste a timeout in that situation, especially 3rd and long, but they didn't want to take the chance of giving up a big one.
So it comes with 9 minutes, 11 seconds left to go in the first quarter. Archbishop Wood unable to pick up a first down on its first series, punts the football. Cheltenham starts its drive at midfield and right now finds themselves in a 3rd down and 8 from the Viking 48-yard line. Again, Archbishop Wood won state championships in 2011, 13, 14, 16, and then in 2017. The first 3 were at 3A, the last 2 were at 5A. And that 2011 team may be the best team we have seen here in a long time. That's the team that beat Bishop McDevitt 52-0. And that young man was a defensive back on that Archbishop Wood team.
Yeah, I think that's the best team I've seen since I've been here. They were unbelievable. I mean, their whole offensive line was going Division I, as well as the tight end. I mean, they were very, very impressive. The running backs, man, they were a fun team to watch.
Ryan Bates was a part of that team. Of course, went on to play at Penn State. Colin Thompson, who originally was the tight end Ross was referring to, went to Florida initially, ended up his career at playing at Temple.
Frank Taylor went to Boston College. They had the People's Twins, we call them.
Correct. So it's now 3rd and 8 for Cheltenham after the Viking timeout. Again, Hunter, naked backfield. Barnes is on the wing to the right side. Sykes is on the wing to the left side. He's looking that direction for Sykes. It's a little bit behind him and incomplete. So it's a quick 3-play series, it would appear, for Cheltenham, unless Ryan Nace wants to gamble early, but he will not. He will send Lidka out to punt.
Cheltenham not able to take advantage of outstanding field position, a pair of 3-and-outs. They got what they wanted. Sykes on the out route. I think if he catches that, he had enough room to get upfield to get the first down. Archbishop Wood is staying with defense stay here. They are alert for any kind of fake don't have their punt return unit out there. This is really their starting defense is still out there.
Yeah, Costello is back. McHugh was back there with him and then came sprinting up towards the line of scrimmage, but they do punt the football, and Litka will boom it. Again, the wind is behind him, and he'll boom that one into the end zone, and so it'll be another touchback. This one on the punt will give Archbishop Wood the football back at the 20. It'll go down as a 48-yard punt for Litka. And with 9:01 to go, after both teams unable to pick up a first down on their first series, the Vikings' second series, like their first, starts at the 20-yard line.
Both teams kind of feeling each other out here early. We'll be curious to see what adjustments they make. Archbishop Wood, this is the offense we're used to. A couple of tight ends and a fullback.
Collier is the fullback. Costello is the tailback. Play action fake to him. And Keller on a sprint out, trying to get outside. Got a man wrapped around him. He does unload the football, but they're going to say he was down. Great job on the defensive end. Cheltenham will bury him in the backfield, and it's John Mark Foreman who will sack him back inside the 15-yard line.
Watch John Mark Foreman, right side of your screen. He's going to see Keller try to break contain. He explodes, wraps him up. I think that's a good call. I mean, really, he's either down or it's intentional grounding.
Yeah,
either way,
there
it's
was a
call.
flag thrown late, so I think that's going to be the decision, whether or not it was intentional grounding.
grounding. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Loss of down.
Our officiating crew, the referee you just heard from him, Wayne Mathis. The umpire is Jerry Jones. No, not that Jerry Jones. The linesman is Michael Marchie. The line judge is Dan Boyle. The field judge is Andrew White. The side judge is Robert Manns, and the back judge is John Zillis. They're out of District 8. So the intentional grounding is going to cost them some space and a down as well. On the intentional grounding penalty, they're going to back up Archbishop Wood back inside their own 10-yard line.
I'm a little confused on that one because they marked him down. So how do you have intentional grounding when they already marked him down for a loss of yardage? It's either one or the other.
So they're back to the 8, and it's now second down. Oops, they whistle beforehand, and there's a flag thrown again. They're going to timeout maybe before the play clock was about to expire. So I think Archbishop Wood just burned its second timeout very early on in the football game.
Before the penalty timeout, Archbishop Wood, that is their second timeout of the first half.
So in the first 3 minutes and 7 seconds, Kyle Atkins and the coaching staff for Archbishop Wood have to call 2 timeouts. So a little bit of concern for them, and they are backed up deep in their own territory, back to the 8-yard line. They're in a second down and 22, all the way back to the 8.
So, Bob, you tell me if I'm missing something here, but they said the quarterback, Keller, was down.
Right.
And they marked it as a loss of 7 yards.
Right.
Then they threw a flag and said intentional grounding. Well,
Right.
if he's down, then it's not intentional grounding. He was down.
Right.
If it's intentional grounding, I'm a little confused on this one. Unless it's
the ball's coming out.
Unless in high school it's
Right.
5 yards
Right.
spot
Right.
foul
It's
from
a spot
where
foul,
he did it.
right?
That
And it's a
must be
loss
what
of
it
down,
is.
and it's a loss of down as
Well, I
well
knew
on the
loss of
ground.
down,
Right,
so,
right.
okay,
But
that must be what it
So
is.
it backs them up into a second and 22 to the 8. And Costello will run the football just to try to buy them some real estate right now. Tough running for Costello. Gets himself about 3 to the 11-yard line, and he is wrapped up and brought down there by Yasir Jenkins.
I will say, too, there are several things different in high school than even college and the NFL, like holding penalties. Those are spot fouls.
Right.
So if it's
Correct.
3 yards in the backfield, then
Right.
it's going to be second and 23. They're going to spot it from there. So
That's correct.
Intentional grounding at the high school level might be the same. Must be the same, I should say.
So it's third down and 19 now for the Vikings. Just trying to give themselves a little bit of real estate here, and they're going into the wind, too.
Yeah, you got to be alert for a screen or a draw here if you're Cheltenham. And here comes the draw.
It's DiVergilis with the hole, and he closes quickly. Or is that Costello actually on the carry? It is Kalen Costello on the carry for Archbishop Wood. It was a hole closed quickly. He'll get about 10 on it, but again, they were in a third and 19. So another quick series for Archbishop Wood, backed up by penalties.
Yeah, conservative call, really just a zone give there. But with that many yards to go, they didn't want to take a chance of a turnover or another penalty. They wanted to try to get a little field position.
So Morgan punts, and TJ Harris will call for a fair catch, and Cheltenham's going to get great field position again, this time at the Viking 40-yard line. So this is a little bit the way things started for Thomas Jefferson last night with the field position battle And with the win, ultimately giving them some short fields, and eventually the Jaguars were able to take advantage of it and open up the score in the second quarter. We'll see if Cheltenham can do the same. 7 minutes, 35 seconds left to go in the first quarter. We are scoreless, and the Panthers back on offense for the second time, and this time officially starting in Viking territory. They started the last one at the 50. This one will start at the Viking 40-yard line. It's a packed backfield, and it's Sadiq Williams who will get the handoff, and tough running inside the 35 and not going down. Sadiq Williams just driving at 200 pounds inside the 30 and will move the sticks for the first down.
Man, you love that when it ends up looking like a mosh pit or a rugby scrum. Look at all the jerseys, the blue jerseys pushing and pulling. Here come a couple other guys. I mean, you might as well. You lift weights all year. Yeah, some of the Archbishop Wood guys are trying to pull back on the Cheltenham offensive line. I don't see that very often.
Cheltenham quickly to the line of scrimmage. Going a little hurry up on the look, but then they'll look back to get the signal from the offense after the 11-yard first down run for Sadiq Williams. Barnes gets the handoff this time. Doesn't like what he sees left side, goes right side instead. Will take it inside the 25 and down to about the 21-yard line. Pickup of about 8 more on the ground for Cheltenham.
Barnes is the only for sure Division I football player in this game. He is committed last week to Monmouth. Really came down to Monmouth and Albany for him. You can see there his feet so good to be able to bounce outside and get really nice yardage there on first down.
6:30 left in the first. We're scoreless. Cheltenham driving. 2nd and 2 for the Panthers at the Archbishop Wood 21-yard line. Hunter wants to keep it himself. He'll have the first down and a little bit more as he'll fight his way to the 16 and pick up 5.
Boy, especially, Bob, when you have a quarterback that's 200 pounds and can run with some power like that, that is really tough to stop. Because when he pulls that football, a lot of times you're going to have a scraping linebacker that's responsible for him. And, boy, with that size, he gets a head of steam. He's going to be able to pick up those short yardage runs.
We were looking, when you're down in the field and you're watching Cheltenham, their skill guys are solid. You talked about Sadiq Williams at 200 pounds. Hunter goes at 200 pounds. Jameer Barnes at 185, but they're solidly built football players, and they're right now in a 1st and 10 at the Vikings 16-yard line. Hunter going to hand it off again to Barnes, following this tight end Foreman with the block, but well played defensively by Archbishop Wood, as Tom Paponi will close in and make the tackle, as Barnes is spotted inside the 15 at the 14, which is very close to what they need for the first down, but I think he's going to be a little short.
Yeah, it's a counter to the left where the right guard kicks out, and then John Mark Foreman leads up into the hole.
So it'll be 2nd down, actually, and 8 coming up for the Panthers after the 2-yard pickup for Jameer Barnes. Foreman, the tight end, is really on a wing to the right side. Sadiq Williams is in the backfield, but you get a whistle beforehand, and somebody moved up front.
For the snap, false start, offense, 5 yards, plate, 2nd down.
So the first penalty of the game against Cheltenham. We'll see if it hurts the Panthers at all. Backs them up to the 19-yard line, puts them in a 2nd and 13.
They were going to throw the ball there, so you'd imagine on 2nd and 13, they're probably even more likely to throw the ball in this situation. It's interesting because Adonis Hunter made an audible to the single receiver side to the left, but then it looked like he was going to throw the ball back to the right. They've got man-to-man coverage down here to the bottom and a lot of room.
Sadiq Williams goes in motion from left wing to right. Toss sweep right side for Barnes. Looking for some blocking, and good job by the Vikings in pursuit. Will wrap him up at the 15. So he'll pick up about 4 before Pomponi comes in to make the tackle, and puts Cheltenham in a 3rd and about 9 at the 15-yard line.
Kind of the old student body right there. Sadiq Williams trying to get a block for him on the edge, as was Adonis Hunter, the quarterback. You love that too. Toss the ball and then go help lead. Student body right.
We'll see what happens here for Cheltenham. Do they end up, if they can't pick up the first down here, they're sitting in a 3rd and 9 at the Viking 15-yard line. Again, a lot of bodies at the line of scrimmage, and it's a play-action fake, and if Hunter wants to throw it, he overthrows his intended target. A flag goes down as the pass is incomplete. It was over the head of Sadiq Williams and a little bit short of the tight end Foreman, and a flag was thrown in the backfield. So we're going to wait and see what the penalty is all about here. Looks like it's going to be against Archbishop Wood defensively. They're marking it off.
During the pass, holding, defense.
So it'll be half the distance to the goal line from the 15. We'll put it inside the 10 to about the 8-yard line.
And unlike the NFL, you can see there, Nate Edwards was just tackled to the ground, pulled down. But unlike the NFL, it's not an automatic first down, which I like, by the way. I don't like the automatic first down. Sometimes it's 3rd and 18 and there's a 5-yard hold. It's automatic first down. Now, though, they can probably run it twice, maybe even once to get the first down.
Looking at about a 3rd and 2 here. Hunter has it, runs into a defender, bounces off that defender. Great second effort by Jameer Barnes. The Viking defense, great pursuit to the football, but the second effort should be enough for a first down for Archbishop Wood. For Cheltenham.
Boy, they had him in the backfield too, Bob. They were all over it, and that was all Jameer Barnes. There were a couple guys right there as soon as he got the ball. I mean, that's a difference-making player right there. To pick up those 3 or 4 yards when he probably should have lost yardage. You know, it's not always the 40 and 50-yard runs that impress people.
Yep.
Sometimes it's the 2 or 3 tough yardage runs that really stand out.
And as a result of that, the Panthers are now in a 1st and goal at the 6-yard line. 3rd first down of this drive for Cheltenham. They started the Viking 40-yard line, and they started with a run to Sadiq Williams. He picked up the first down. Not happening this time. The Viking defense, again, great pursuit to the football. First guy there to make contact for Archbishop Wood was Dom DeLessio.
They're not having a whole lot of success running inside. That time, you see DeLessio getting in the backfield. Archbishop Wood's getting a lot of penetration up the middle. Pomponi was in on that one as well. I think Cheltenham's going to have to try to get to the edge.
2nd and goal back to about the 8-yard line now for Cheltenham. Here's a toss sweep trying to get to the edge with Nate Edwards, his first touch. And he'll fight his way to about the 5-yard line before he's wrapped up and brought down. On the tackle for Archbishop Wood was Ryan Diambra.
Another one of those juniors, huge junior class, did an excellent job of being the fill player. Watch him come up. He's got contained. You'll see 28 come flying up. Nope, you're not going outside. I've got contained. I'm making you go back inside, and I'm going to make the tackle. Really well done. When you are the edge, the force player, contained player, whatever you want to call it, you got to show up. You got to show up right now, and at a minimum, turn that thing back in.
3rd and goal. Foreman and Sadiq Williams come out, so they bring in a little bit more speed with Edwards in the backfield, and another whistle and a flag on a procedure penalty again against Cheltenham. So the Panthers move forward, and then they shoot themselves in the foot again.
5 yards.
And that's going to back them up to the 10. They remain now 3rd down and goal to go.
They've had a couple of penalties now go against them. Ryan Nace looking at that play sheet, figuring out what he wants to go with. Still seems to me like getting the ball to guys like Edwards and Barnes in the flat in space is going to be their best bet.
Barnes is actually going to go out as a receiver, slot to the left, with Sykes slot to the right. TJ Harris is split right. Nate Edwards is in the backfield, sidecar right of Adonis Hunter.
Timeout. Offense. That's your first.
And so now Cheltenham will burn its first timeout. So both teams using some early timeouts in this first quarter. This is a now almost 6-minute drive for Ryan Nace's team. And again, he started at the 40-yard line, working his way in, trying to see which team can finally punch one in this first quarter. We're scoreless right now with officially 1:39 left in the first quarter clock.
And I'm almost starting to get the impression, Bob, that there might not be a whole lot of scoring in this game. So, you know, being the team that gets the first points on the board, whatever they may be, are significant. And although it doesn't look like it's as bad, nearly as bad as it was for you guys last night, Bob, you know, the Panthers still do have the wind at their back right now.
Right.
So you'd like to try to take advantage of that.
Yeah, it was much more forceful and much more gusty last night. Let's check in before they snap the football with Meg Bolger for more down on the sidelines.
Yeah, well, guys, Cheltenham's motto since last February has been good to great. Coach Nace, as the players bought into that, they've been doing things that they've never done before. He said, no one thought we'd get to this point, so we might as well win it. But that almost didn't happen today. At around 4 o'clock, they're over in Chocolate World, riding the ride when the ride breaks down. He said players were freaking out, yelling, hey, we got a game to go to. He said, hey, that's just the way we do things, and it works.
He said that just seems to be the Cheltenham way. Hunter throwing for the end zone. Leaping attempt by Jameer Barnes, but it's broken up and incomplete. Well played defensively by the Vikings, and the pass is knocked away. I believe that was Pigford on the coverage for Archbishop Wood. It was actually A.J. Minner, stride for stride with Jameer Barnes, and went right up with him to force it incomplete.
Yeah, they liked that matchup, and Barnes had it in his head. Credit Minner's doing a nice job staying with it, didn't panic. No penalty there. And Barnes just couldn't quite haul it in.
And so they will go for the field goal here. It will be Andrew Moreland who will attempt, and they fumble the snap. The snap went through the holder's hands. It's a loose football. Moreland picks it up and will get tackled at the 20-yard line. So what would have been a 27-yard field goal attempt ends up never being attempted as the snap went away from the holder and was a loose football. Cheltenham is denied.
Well, we've seen that already multiple times this weekend. Special teams can and usually are a major factor here in the high school state championship games.
And so with 1 minute and 26 seconds left to go in the first quarter, there's a timeout on the field with Cheltenham and Archbishop Wood right now in a scoreless tie in the 5A football state championship game.
This is Harrisburg and Hershey, West Shore and Wyomissing, Lancaster and Lingelstown. This is hard-working people, growing families, and Friday night lights. This is hope, heart, and heroes. This is our community at its best. This is the health we need to live the way we want. This is Penn State Health. Learn more at thisispenstatehealth.org.
PCN brings you the PIAA Championships in a variety of sports. From the field to the pool and the court to the track, PCN brings you the best scholastic teams competing on the state's biggest stage from all the best angles. With multiple cameras, instant replays, and professional commentary, we take high school sports and elevate them to new heights. Watch on cable and the PCN app. PCN, proud to bring Pennsylvania sports to you.
Sports fans, do you remember the 2003 Snow Bowl? PCN was there, and now you can take a look back. Watch PCN Sports Classics on cable and streaming next Saturday night, December the 14th at 7 o'clock. Manheim Central, Pine Richland, many consider it to be the best high school football game played in the state of Pennsylvania. You can judge for yourself if you never saw it. Manheim Central, Pine Ridgeland, 2003 AAA state championship game. You can see it next Saturday night in its entirety, 7 o'clock here on PCN. So after the missed field goal opportunity for Cheltenham, Archbishop Wood back to work on offense, and Keelan Costello on a sweep to left side, starting from his own 21-yard line. We'll get across the 25 to the 26 and maybe to the 27-yard lines before Nate Edwards will wrap him up.
You know, you look at Archbishop Wood's offensive line, and you're used to mammoth guys up there, 3 or 4 at a time going Division I. They average 6'1", 226. And you've got a freshman and a sophomore starting at guard, a junior center. It's a different era right now for Archbishop Wood, and yet they're still here, which is a credit to what that program has built.
They're in a 2nd and 3 now after the 7-yard run for Costello, and a great run, making people miss. Caitlin Costello will pick up the first Viking first down.
Boy, he has really nifty feet as well. You know, he didn't have to use, watch how quick his feet are in the hole. Tap, tap, cut, and watch this, tap, tap, cut. You know, so often people get so caught up in height, weight, size, speed, and all those things. Costello's 5'9", 165 pounds, and he's fast, but part of what makes him really good is his feet and just the quickness.
And that was really the main thing for Kyle Atkins in terms of the switch from Cardell Pigford to Kalen Costello, that he had a little bit of extra wiggle as a runner, where Pickford was a little bit more of a north-south straightaway runner. Costello brought a little bit extra to it, and you saw it on that run, and this time he'll run it again across the 40 to about the 42 or 43-yard line before he's wrapped up by Jenkins again in on the tackle for Cheltenham. They'll spot the football, call it at the 43, 5 more for Kalen Costello. That will take us to the end of the first quarter, and after one, the PIAA 5A state championship game, it is Cheltenham and Archbishop Wood scoreless here on PCN.
These days, life is busy, but amazing. From the sci-fi brilliance of technology to the existence of toast, we move at a crazy pace until this happens. Time for MedExpress. Walk right in, get the care you need, and get right back at it. MedExpress, because life is urgent.
Nike reminds you that no matter what you've accomplished, your biggest competition is yourself. Your work is never finished. Nike is proud to support the PIAA Football Championships.
For over 25 years, PCN has brought viewers across the Commonwealth inside the nation's largest indoor agriculture showcase, the Pennsylvania Farm Show. Every year, our coverage continues to grow. See it all and more with PCN's coverage of the Pennsylvania Farm Show, January 4th to the 11th.
You've heard the name. You've seen the face. Now he's part of the PCN family. Meet Bob McCool, Sports Director and Director of Sales. Spread your message through PCN with a sports sponsorship today. Your advertisement will be seen by millions during PIAA championship games. For information how, contact Bob at info@pcntv.com. PCN, proud to bring Pennsylvania sports to you.
We get set to start the second quarter, and an interested spectator, James Franklin, the head coach of the Penn State Nittany Lions, watching some high school state championships here at Hershey Park Stadium alongside Ross Tucker. My name is Bob McCool. Meg Bolger is also on the sidelines, not just James Franklin, but Meg Bolger's on the sidelines as well, watching some high school football here as the Cheltenham Panthers on defense. The Archbishop Wood Vikings have it 2nd and 5 at the 43-yard line. Vikings with a couple of handoffs to Kalen Costello. He is the lone back in the backfield with Max Keller as the quarterback, and again, they'll continue to give it to Costello. He's got room. He's got to cross midfield. TJ Harris will bring him down from behind, but not before they move the sticks into Cheltenham territory at the Panther 40-yard line.
This will be a counter. Both guards pull. You know, they're not as big as they typically are, Bob, but they move very well.
Second first down in this series for the Vikings after Costello goes for 17 more. Again, Costello has become the guy. The last 2 weeks, over 400 yards combined rushing in the Vikings quarterfinal and semifinal playoff victories. 1st and 10 as a result for the Vikings in Cheltenham territory at the 40-yard line. Shane Collier, the fullback ahead, and Costello again moving people out of his way as they'll take it for another first down inside the 30. 11 more down to the 29-yard line.
Archbishop Wood is starting to get it going now, Bob. Watch the offensive line. This is what they call split zone. You get everybody running one way, and usually a tight end comes back and tries to cut off the backside, but they're starting to wear them down a little bit, get a feel for the speed of Cheltenham's defense, and taking it right at them.
Costello carried it 29 times last week in the semifinal win over Gateway. Ended up putting up 272 yards on the night. Cheltenham, a different story this time, as John Mark Foreman will wrap him up right around the line of scrimmage, giving a yard and forward progress. It'll make it 2nd and 9.
John Mark Foreman's made a couple of really nice plays already in this game. The senior tight end linebacker, 5'11", 200, is doing a really nice job on that edge.
2nd and 9 at the 28. It's been a steady diet of Kalen Costello for Archbishop Wood in this series. DiVergilis is wing to the right. 2 receivers in McHugh and Wirtz split out to the left for quarterback Max Keller. A little bit of trouble with the snap. Not sure if it was an intended quarterback run or if Costello was just out of his reach as he tried to hand it off to him. And so the quarterback ends up keeping it. And Zion Khan will end up with the tackle at the 25-yard line.
See what happened here. You know what? He was going to run it anyway. He was going to run anyway because they pulled a couple of linemen to the left. I think he was going to fake the dive to Costello and run quarterback power to the left anyway. Not ideal in terms of the snap, but that's what they were going to do anyway. Very likely 4-down territory here for Woods. So even though it's 3rd and 6, they can absolutely run it here again if they want to, knowing 4th down, they're probably going to go for it.
And they will give it to Costello, and Cheltenham is waiting for him, and they will bury him at the 25-yard line, and it's Zion Khan on the tackle.
Zion Khan, watch number 52. He's going to slant inside, beats the block across the face, and then eats up Costello.
Everybody calls him X-Man, and for very good reason. What many points would that be worth in Scrabble, do you think? Darren Zion Khan, X-A-Y-A.
You don't have time to say all the letters before they kick this field goal right here.
I asked him before the game, I wanted to know how to pronounce your name. He said, what, you mean my last name? I said, I'm good with Darren. It's Zion Khan I need a little help with. Here comes a 42-yard kick. Field goal attempt from Dan Morgan, and it's good. Ryan Morgan is their long man kicker, and he comes up with the field goal, and it's good. Ryan Morgan is a soccer player. They actually had a game-winning field goal last week against Gateway that was a 25-yard kick, and Ryan Morgan wasn't there because he was at a soccer game, and they had to go to Robert Meyer, who is their extra point kicker. He made the 25-yarder, but a 42-yarder by Ryan Morgan is good, and Archbishop Woods on the board first.
Well, and we are already seeing the difference that special teams can make. You know, the poor snap for Cheltenham, when they had a much closer field goal attempt, they were not able to go ahead and get the field goal off, and now Archbishop Wood hits a long one.
So Ryan Morgan with a 42-yard field goal, taking full advantage of the breeze behind him, and he drills it through from 42 yards out. Archbishop Wood is on the board first. It's 3-0 Vikings with 8:45 to go. So a steady diet again of Kalen Costello running the football, and it gets them to the 25. The drive stops there thanks to the big play defensively by Zion Khan. They settle for the field goal, but Morgan takes advantage of it. 3-0 Vikings. So again, the Vikings only have 41 players on the roster, which is a bit surprising when you look at it. But again, we're talking about a very different scenario right now for the Vikings. Here they kick it short. It's TJ Harris on the return from the 25. 30, 35, and that's as far as they'll go forward progress. Nice job on special teams by Archbishop Wood. So Cheltenham now down 3-0, back to work on offense from about their own 35-yard line.
They really haven't gotten uncorked yet, though. They've moved the ball, Bob, but they really haven't gotten a lot of space yet to really showcase their speed. And credit Archbishop Wood for doing a nice job of keeping everything in between the tackles, nothing long so far. Cheltenham's had to earn everything.
And they've gotten great field position their first two series. They started the first one at the 50. They started the second one at the Viking 40, could not cash in on it. Again, they were lining up for a field goal, but had an issue with the snap. So Cheltenham back to work now, down 3-0 from their own 35-yard line. Jameer Barnes is caught up in a traffic jam, and he won't get more than a yard or two. Just too many Vikings pursuing to the football, and it was Shane Collier, first one to make contact, give him 2 to the 37-yard line.
Boy, the one thing, I know they've had to use a couple timeouts, but the one thing you certainly notice about Archbishop Wood, every time they've been here, very well coached, even though now they have a new coach in Kyle Adkins, who's all of 25 years old. He said, yeah, I said, your name sounds familiar. He said, yeah, I was on the 2011 team. Gosh.
Second down and 8 from the 37. I wanted to give it to Sadiq Williams, the flag beforehand. Cheltenham's going to get called for another procedure penalty.
False start. Offense.
5
yards.
Third one called
down
against the Panthers. It'll back them up to the 32-yard line. Makes it second down now and 13 to go. Ryan Nace, not a whole lot older. He graduated from Father Judge in 2002. Going on to play his college football at Lafayette. now in his 3rd season running the show here at Cheltenham.
Clock operator, if you could hear me, would you please reset the game clock to 7:50, 5-0, 7-5-0.
Zach Gaffin will split out to the left for Cheltenham. TJ Harris will split out to the right. Again, they'll go with that stacked backfield. Hunter having both Sykes and Hart Barnes beside him and Edwards behind him, and looked like maybe a broken play here, but Hunter's going to run with the football. He'll take it out across the 35 to the 37 or 38. They get back what they lost in the penalty, but not a whole lot more. Charlie Mininger there on the tackle for the Vikings.
And there's an injured Panther behind the play.
Timeout for an injury.
And that was a design quarterback run. You know, they had Barnes going one way to try to slow down the eyes of the 2nd and 3rd level, and then he was going to go ahead and he was going to follow Nate Edwards up the field and cut it back pretty early.
It is Darren Ziamonkon who is down right now on the field for Cheltenham, but good to see him get up, limping a little bit as he walks off the field. That's a 2-way starter for the Cheltenham Panthers. And a great story as well as that offensive line. Brendan Canale actually sprained his MCL first game of the season. And the only reason he is back in the starting lineup is because of how long the season has gone on for Cheltenham. His first game back was last week in the semifinals against Cacalico. The Panthers season doesn't extend now to the 15th game of the season, 16th game of the season. Brendan Canale doesn't get to a chance to continue his senior season.
Encroachment, defense, 5 yards, 3rd down.
This time it's the Vikings who jump off sides, so now all of a sudden it's 3rd and 2 as a result for Cheltenham. So big break there for the Panthers. We'll see if they can take advantage of it. Now at the 43-yard line. Cheltenham quickly over center. Barnes and Harris split out to the right. Edwards split to the left. Sadiq Williams is the back in the backfield on 3rd and 2 from the 43. Hunter wants to throw for it. They'll dump off. Edwards has it, has the first down, has Archbishop Wood territory down to the Viking 46-yard line.
This is what they like to do. They like to try to get the ball to their weapons in space. A lot of times it's handoffs and they take it to the outside. Now they're starting to throw the ball a little bit. Nothing fancy, just a quick stop route.
Goes as an 11-yard completion to Edwards, again in Viking territory at the 46-yard line, 1st down and 10. 4th first down of this first half for Cheltenham. Back to Sadiq Williams, and again, Archbishop Wood is just all over. Shane Collier was the first one to make contact, but 3 other Vikings there to help stand him up at the line of scrimmage. Forward progress gives him a yard.
They are not having success blocking Archbishop Wood up front, and they're starting to get frustrated with the inside runs. It's not going well. You'll see this time he tried to cut it back, but a nice job by Collier and others to be right there for him.
2nd down and 9 as a result for Cheltenham. They're at the Archbishop Wood 45-yard line. This time it's Sykes in the backfield, but Hunter wants to throw for it. Nothing open right. He's going to run left instead. Take on a tackler and get bumped out of bounds at around the 40-yard line. Cheltenham looking for a late hit. They're not going to get the flag. Let's check in with Meg on an injury update.
Hey guys, the injured Cheltenham player Darren Ziamonkon came over. The trainer taped up that left knee, walked on it a little bit gingerly, but he looks to be going back into the game.
He's trying to get back close to this line of scrimmage, and now he does walk on the field. Limping just a little bit, but Ziamonkon is back in there as Adonis Hunter runs with the football on the scramble inside the 45, called at the 42, and make it 3rd down and about 5 coming up for Cheltenham.
I formation this time. It's crazy how they have Edwards and Barnes interchangeable.
And again, a flag comes down. No timeout called beforehand. Ryan Nace calls the timeout.
Timeout.
Comes with 5
Offense.
minutes and 48 seconds left to go. So
That's
neither
a second.
head
Charge
coaches
timeout. of the first half.
Thinking about taking a timeout to the locker room. Archbishop Wood called a couple early ones. Ryan Nace has called a couple timeouts as well.
Clock operator, could you please set the game clock to 5:50. Thank you.
So both teams are now down to 1 timeout remaining. It's 3rd down and 5 at the at the Archbishop Wood 42-yard line for Cheltenham. So it'll be interesting to see what happens if they don't pick up. You got to figure for Cheltenham, it's probably 4-down territory, even though you're inside, maybe only inside the 40-yard line. And they're down 3-0.
5-0 on the game clock.
You know, it's kind of surprising that there's that many timeouts already, 2 for each team. You know, these are teams that are made it to a state championship game. They've already had to use 4 timeouts. We haven't even gotten to the part of the game where we usually use timeouts. I see this a lot. They're looking over at Coach Nace for the play.
They all check the wristbands to find out exactly what the signal was. 3rd and 5 is what they're looking at. It's Sykes looking to find some daylight. Doesn't matter. They're not going to get through Archbishop Wood. They'll wrap him up. Maybe even lost a yard. Back to about a 4th down and 6. So what do they do here?
Decision time for Nace. Looks like he's going to punt it away. I just don't think he has the confidence right now that they can pick up 6 or 7 yards to get the 1st down.
So Litka will come on to punt now. And Archbishop Wood will get another possession on top 3-0. It's Costello who is the return man.
It's a fake.
And it's a fake, and Edwards is going to run for it. Trying to get the edge, makes a man miss, and he's going to pick up the 1st down. Bumped out of bounds inside the 30-yard line. Cheltenham goes for the gamble and takes it for a 1st down run.
Boy, what I love about that, Bob, is he sent the punt team out right away. But he knew he went, you snap it to the up back, hand it to Edwards, you get some flow going that way, and Edwards able to get in space against McHugh and able to get the 1st down.
So the Cheltenham Panthers, they won their 1st ever district championship this year in a state championship game for the 1st time, and maybe with nothing more to lose, why not go for it? And the fake punt goes for a 16-yard 1st down run. The Panthers still in business at the 26-yard line. Here comes Barnes trying to get out to the left edge. Makes 1 man miss. 2nd man will eventually bring him out of bounds, but not before Jameer Barnes will take it inside the 20 to the 19 and pick up about 7.
Well, one of them was a fake punt, but that's still back-to-back plays, Bob, where Cheltenham has been able to get the edge. You know, and that's a good lesson right there. John Mark Foreman did not get a great block on the edge there, but he got enough that it was still hard for the Wood edge defender to get off that block and try to keep everything contained inside.
It was Nathan Taylor who was fending off the block from Foreman. Ends up at a 7-yard run for Barnes. They'll go back to him. He'll find his way through the middle of the Wood defense and turn into a 1st down inside the 15 down to about the 13. Another Cheltenham 1st down, their 6th of the 1st half.
And now they're doing a good job on that play of actually getting some movement up front. Can they finish, though? I still think their best bet's going to be when they get the ball to the edge with Edwards and Barnes.
They got as close as 1st and goal to the 6th on their last possession. Ended up not being able to get the field goal because they couldn't get the snap placed right. They're going to throw a little out pattern for the corner looking for TJ Harris, but Adonis Hunter floated it a little bit and it goes incomplete.
He had him. They had what he wanted. Just not a great throw. Throwing into the wind, which looks like it's picking up a little bit again here. Let's see if this ball died on him a little bit, Bob. Got some air under it, and it looked like it started to sail away from him.
Yeah, in this stadium and going into the wind the way you are, you just can't put a whole lot of air under it, and that's exactly what Adonis Hunter did. And so now it's 2nd and 10 at the 13-yard line. Hunter wants to keep it himself. Breaks 1 tackle, but again, the containment, the pursuit by Archbishop Wood defense will wrap him up. Line of scrimmage, it's 3rd and 10.
They are really doing a nice job against the quarterback run game. Very disciplined has been Archbishop Wood. You know, a lot of times when he's faking the dive, you see a bunch of guys go for the dive. They've held firm with their responsibility on the quarterback every time.
3rd and 10 from the 13-yard line coming up for Cheltenham. Barnes is the back in the backfield this time beside Hunter. 2 tight ends set. Edwards split to the left side, Harris to the right. Looking for Edwards, going to throw it for Barnes instead, and he's double covered and run out of bounds. Incomplete. Barnes was trying to get to the football, but he had 2 defenders for Archbishop Wood right there with him, stride for stride. It's an incomplete pass, and it's 4th down.
Boy, there was some contact there, too. And the Cheltenham folks feel like there should have been interference called. Watch the right side of your screen. Hunter does a nice job just to get rid of it. Boy, I don't know. At first glance there, I think that's pass interference.
Shane Collier was the defender.
He was making his way towards the football. He would have had it was not uncatchable. He would have had a chance to make a play on the football. A little surprised they didn't call interference there.
They will go for it. 4th and 10 at the 13-yard line. No, maybe not. They're going to call a timeout. So Ryan Nace will burn his 3rd and final timeout with 3:49 left to go.
Take another look at it. Ball's in the air.
Now, there is no uncatchable rule in high school football. So there's not. You can't call it an uncatchable pass.
And you know what? Looking at that angle right there,
no.
I think it was good defense.
I do too.
You know, at first from the other angle, it looked like he knocked Barnes down. I think Barnes really just realized he wasn't going to catch it there and was trying to draw the personal foul.
I agree with you 100%.
I'm sorry, the pass interference penalty. That's a good no call by the officials.
And again, there is no uncatchable pass rule in high school football. It is yes in the NFL. So it's not like you can say, oh, he kept him from being able to catch the football or he wouldn't be able to catch it. So it's just fighting for position, and I think you're right. I think Barnes realized he wasn't going to catch it, so he tried to run into the defender to make it look like it, maybe sell the penalty, but he didn't get the call. So when it's all said and done, Cheltenham uses its 3rd and final timeout, and now they're in a 4th and 10 at the Archbishop Wood 13-yard line, down 3-0 with 3:49 left to go in the first half.
Looks like it's man coverage with 2 deep. So man underneath with 2 deep safeties.
Harris, Foreman, and Williams, right to left, split out to the right side for Cheltenham, with Nate Edwards split out to the left. Hunter looking across the middle, can't find anybody open, and he's going to get buried from behind. Football came loose, but he was down, and it's going to be turned over on downs by Archbishop Wood's defense. Adonis Hunter couldn't find anybody open. Pomponi eventually finished him off with a hit from behind.
And on 4th down, you know, I know Adonis knows this, but you got to throw it up for grabs. I mean, you got to give one of your guys a chance.
Legal formation on the offense. That penalty's declined. 1st and 10, Archbishop Wood.
So the Viking defense holds. Again, Cheltenham with another nice drive. They get themselves deep into Archbishop Wood territory, but they come away with no points. The Vikings stay on top 3-0. 3:42 left to go. Archbishop Wood gets the football back. So they've got time on the clock, but they only have 1 timeout remaining. So those 2 early timeouts could come in costly here to Archbishop Wood, starting from their own 14-yard line. Again, a team that's built around running the football. We'll see if that changes with Max Keller directing the show as the quarterback. He's got 3 receivers split out to his left and 1 to his right, and it's Costello finding a hole. Costello across the 25, 30, just shy of that 30, but that's good to move the sticks.
Inside zone scheme. Nice job battling up front by the Vikings offensive line. They're not as big as they've been in previous years, but doing a nice job there sustaining.
To the 28-yard line, 14 more on the carry for Costello. 11 carries, 78 yards right now for the junior running back. Right back to it, following another blocker. To the 35, he makes a man miss, makes another man miss, fighting, and finally gets out of bounds. That'll stop the clock with 3:07 left to go, and it's very close to another Viking first down.
It's the old counter tray there where they pull both the backside guard. Watch the left guard and left tackle come. Everybody on the front side is down. Nice kick out block. And then D'Alessio, the backside tackle, got up on the linebacker.
Barnes and Harris eventually tackle him, but again, he got out of bounds, stopped the clock with 3:07 to go. Clock would have stopped on the first downs until they moved the sticks, but stopping the clock until the snap now. 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line. So back-to-back first down runs for Kalen Costello and Archbishop Wood. And this time Keller will keep it himself. Didn't really fool Cheltenham all that much as he'll get a couple on the lead. Give him to the 43. That turns into a 4-yard pickup. John Mark Foreman on the tackle for Cheltenham.
You gotta love high school where the quarterback still comes all the way over to the sideline a lot of times to get the call. I gotta tell you what, I always wanted to play quarterback, Bob, but if I had to run in one of those offense where you ran to the sideline and back every play, I'd rather play guard.
Yeah, you don't have the cardio for that. 2nd and
Not
7.
interested in that.
Back to Costello. Good job this time by Cheltenham defense to bottle up Kalen Costello. Forward progress will mark it to about the 47. And it will put the Vikings now in a 3rd and about 2 or 3. And another timeout on the injury for Cheltenham. It was Zach Gaffin, their leading tackler, who came up with the play defensively for Cheltenham on the tackle. The injured player for Cheltenham is Brandon Canale. Again, he was the player I told you had the MCL injury, first game of the season. Was able to return last week in the PIAA semifinals. Now looking for some help to carry it up the field. He's the only senior on the offensive line for Cheltenham and playing some defense as well. Ooh, and it's friendly fire.
Yeah, the right side of his knee.
47-yard line is now the line of scrimmage. It's 3rd and about 2 now coming up for Archbishop Wood. "13 carries for 96 yards for Kalen Costello. After that run for about 5, they play action fake to him. Keller wants to throw, and it goes right through the fingertips of his intended target. Jacob Capiello was the target. Incomplete pass will stop the clock with 1:57 left to go, and it's 4th down.
Atkins hasn't sent the punt team out yet. I would imagine he's going to punt this football.
Got the wind to your back. Certainly you want to back up Cheltenham, not give them a short field if you don't pick it up. You're looking at a 4th and 2.
Maybe not, showing a lot of faith and aggressiveness in the offensive line. Now, do they try to get Cheltenham to jump here?
They do have 1 timeout left, so if they don't get him to jump, they could call the timeout. Nope, they snap the football, they give it to Costello. He's got the first down and into Cheltenham territory, down to the Panther 45-yard line. The drive continues.
Wow, that is a gutsy call by Kyle Atkins. You're up 3-0. You know, 4th and a long 2 from midfield. Here comes both guards. That's really like a wing T play there, like the old 28 trap, 20 sweep, whatever you want to call it. Pulling both guards and getting the first down.
So both coaches gamble a little bit. Ryan Nace went for it on a fake punt. Kyle Atkins goes for it on 4th down in his own territory. Gets the first down. Both of them able to gamble and win. And now they'll hand it off to Costello for a little bit more as he fights to about the 36-yard line. 9 more on the carry. It's 2nd and 1.
Archbishop Wood still kind of taking their time here. Remember, they only have 1 timeout left.
Down to 1:10 left to go, and inside of 1:10 till they snap the football. It's 2nd and 1. First down, of course, will stop the clock till they move the chains, and Costello will do that as he's inside the 30, down to about the 28-yard line. Another first down on the ground for the Vikings.
And Costello with the ball picks up a first.
7 more for Costello. And to the line of scrimmage quickly to snap the football. Keller wants to throw for it here. Looking for the out pattern. Pass is caught and immediately brought down on the catch. It's Andrew McHugh, brought down by Edwards. We'll see if this is where Vikings call their timeout or not. Inside of 40 seconds left to go.
And this is where that timeout usage comes into play.
3 yards on the pickup, first completion for Keller. Now rolling out to his right, looking for somebody open. He's just going to throw that one away. He was being chased by John Mark Foreman, and Max Keller wanted no parts of that. He just threw that one away. And we'll stop the clock with 27 seconds left to go.
Smart decision there by Keller. It's exactly what you want to do. You don't want to take the loss of yardage. You don't want the clock to keep going. Just throw it away. Live for a next down.
Third down coming up now for Archbishop Wood. 27 seconds left to go. The Vikings still do have that last timeout in their pocket right now. They're in a 3rd and 3 at the 26-yard line, and they're up 3-0. Points on the board from Ryan Morgan for a 42-yard field goal. It's just about where they are right now if they don't gain any more yardage. They're going to have a delay game penalty now, and that's going to change that aspect. Going to back them up 5.
Delay game. Offense. 5 yards.
Now they're in a 3rd and 8 instead, and they're back to the 31-yard line.
You know, I think this game's been a little sloppier in the first half here, Bob, than you would expect for a couple teams in the state championship game. Just the timeout usage, the penalties, delay a game. Not what you expect to see. You know, you wonder if it's nerves or whatever.
3rd down and 12 now after they walk off the penalty. Back at the 31-yard line. Keller, deep drop, looking for the pass across the middle. Diving attempt, and the pass is caught. Excellent catch by Ryan DiVergilis, and they're quickly going to try to get to the line of scrimmage and spike the football, as the clock will not start until they set the chains.
And a great throw as well.
25 yards on the hookup. Keller's actually going to play it out. They'll hand it off to Costello, who will fight for a couple inside the 5 to the 3.
Take another look at this throw.
Timeout. Offense.
That is a nice throw and catch right there. You know, we said it earlier, they like to run the football, but that was a nice job down the seam to get them to a point where now they just used their last timeout. So 14 seconds left. You're probably thinking here, Bob, 1, maybe 2 shots in the end zone and then a field goal.
Ryan DiVergilis, who made that catch, you talk about high school football, what makes high school football great. Kyle Atkins calls him his Swiss Army knife. Why? Because he runs the football, he catches the football, he plays a couple different positions offensively. He's their defensive back, and he also is their long snapper. So that's what the beauty of high school football is. You find a lot of different positions to play your good athletes, and that's what Ryan DiVergilis is. He makes that catch, puts them in a 1st and goal at the 5. Costello takes them to 2nd and goal at the 3. They use their final timeout, 14 seconds left to go. Keller wants to throw for it, looking to swing it out to Costello, and a great open field tackle by Jameer Barnes.
They got to hustle now to try to spike the football. You got to throw it in the end zone. They might not be able to spike this.
And stop the clock with 1 second to go. What a great defensive play by Jameer Barnes.
There was 1 second. Number 3, Barnes. Watch the closing speed here and the open field tackle. That is so well done. I am stunned.
Operator.
They threw the ball in the flat there.
Place 1 second on the game clock. 1 second.
So you hear what Cheltenham's fans think of that, but that is a good call. He did spike it with a second left to go. So they will get an opportunity now to kick the field goal. And this time it'll be the short man in Robert Meyer, who's their extra point kicker, which is about what this is. This will be a 22-yard field goal attempt, and it's good. And Archbishop Wood will double up its lead. It's the Vikings 6 and Cheltenham nothing. So by spiking the football and having it with 1 second left to go, it allows them to put their field goal unit on. And Robert Meyer, who had the game-winning field goal last week to beat Gateway, comes through with a field goal for Archbishop Wood. So both Ryan Morgan and Robert Meyer have both kicked field goals, and Archbishop Wood will head to the locker room with a 6-0 lead. Meg Bolger catches up with Kyle Atkins on his way to the locker room.
Coach, not a lot of whole offense going on in this game, but nice clock management going for it on 4th down. What was behind that decision?
Yeah, we check confidence in our guys to go for it and get 2 yards. You know, we're going to put that in the hands of our offensive line more times than not. So that was really the thinking there.
Defensively, it's kind of been a bend, don't break. What do you want to see from your guys here in the second half?
Yeah, I'd like to not give up all those yards, but we do have a bend, don't break philosophy, and it's good when the kids are able to perform with their backs against the wall. So it's good to see.
All right, Coach, thanks. Good luck in the second half. Guys.
Archbishop Wood only has 41 players on the roster, but 3 of them are kickers, and they use both of them. There are 2 of those 3 in the first half. And Ryan Morgan had a 42-yard field goal. Robert Meyer has a 22-yard field goal. And that's the difference on the scoreboard. Halftime of the 5A state championship game. Archbishop Wood 6, Cheltenham nothing. Mike Zambelli, Jim Wills back with our halftime show when we get back to Hershey Park Stadium live on PCN.
A lot has changed since 1932.
But one thing that hasn't is Faulkner's commitment to Central PA.
Our organization is built on values like honesty, integrity, and trust.
Our prices are low and transparent.
Our buying experience is fast and easy.
And we're active in the community, supporting our friends and neighbors at charitable events, local games, and fundraisers. We remain committed to you and our community, to be sure.
Packed with 9 essential nutrients, low-fat chocolate milk can be an important part of your recovery routine. Refuel with chocolate milk after your next workout.
Brought to you by Penn State Sports Medicine of Penn State Health, Milton S. Hershey Medical Center, official healthcare provider of Penn State Athletics. From the youngest athletes to professional superstars, Penn State Sports Medicine covers them all. Politics and policy, history and culture, sports. PCN is your place for Pennsylvania, on cable and on the PCN app.
The mats are set. The athletes are ready. Are you? Pennsylvania's top high school wrestlers are coming this January on PCN's Wrestling Match of the Week. Watch as we bring you primetime matchups from across Pennsylvania on cable and streaming. Get more at PCNTV.com. PCN, Pennsylvania Sports.
Give the gift of PCN this holiday season with all your favorite shows wrapped up in one great package. A PCN Select subscription. Sports fan on your list? PCN has your ticket to 14 PIAA championship games, from basketball to football and everything in between. Know a proud Pennsylvanian? We have the most farm show coverage anywhere, plus program favorites like PA Books, PCN Tours, and the Gettysburg Battle Walks. Subscribe today at PCNTV.com.
Hershey Park, located just outside the stadium here, ablaze in all its glory here at this holiday time of the season. It's state championship football time. Archbishop Wood, on the strength of a couple of field goals, leading the 5A title game 6-0 over the Panthers of Cheltenham. Welcome to halftime. Mike Zambelli, pleased to be joined by Jim Wills. Jim, the wind had really died down earlier today. It is back here, certainly not the gusts that we saw yesterday of 25 to 30 miles an hour, but there's no question as you watch these games down here, it becomes a 12th man defensively. It has really forced the issue to the far side of this field throughout this first half.
Absolutely, Mike. It's, you know, we saw the wind yesterday really play a factor in that game yesterday. We thought tonight it wouldn't because it was really calm when we started this ball game, but now the last 5 minutes of that second quarter, the wind has really kicked up, and it's going to play a major factor in the second half.
Wood with a 6-0 lead, but really that 6-0 lead, the strength of that defense, a bend but don't break. They were able to protect themselves in that first quarter, keep Cheltenham off the board after they had great field position, and then they were able to start to move the football a little bit behind the running of Costello.
Yeah, Costello's done a nice job there in that first half. He had a couple of good runs. Then you see the first field goal, 42 yards by Ryan Morgan, who did a nice job. Didn't play a couple of weeks because of an injury, or because of a soccer game, and then he came back strong. And then you're going to see the second field goal of 22 yards by the short kicker, Robert Meyer.
All right, Morgan, if you look for his number on their roster, it isn't even there, so that's the significance of that, just barely clearing that 42-yarder. You mentioned Meyer then with the 22-yarder. For Cheltenham, had great opportunities in that first quarter and didn't take full advantage of them, got back into the red zone. How many plays have they run inside the 20-yard line in this game? It's got to be better than 20. They have yet to put a point on the board.
They did do one good drive, Mike, with Shadiq Williams, and then they did a good job here with Jameer Barnes. But the thing of it is, you're right. They had many, many opportunities inside the 20-yard line, inside the 10-yard line. That's the key for them. They got to be able to convert. Look at how many times they were inside, but that Wood defense just shut them down every single time they were inside, and they settled for a field goal attempt, but then it was a bad snap and a great job by Wood to come up and make the tackle.
On the bright side for the Panthers, you look at this first half, this is a defense that has been torched for a lot of yards in their last couple of games. They have to be ecstatic the way they're playing defense as well here tonight in the championship.
They really are doing a good job. They really are. And the thing of it is, they've been really giving up a lot of points left and right all year long, especially in the championship run. But the thing of it is, when they're playing defense tonight, they've been playing hard and they've been playing it well. And they're doing a good job of getting low with the pad level, doing a real good job defensively.
Really have. Yeah, they've really made a lot of nice adjustments. Another note in this football game, they talked about Kyle Atkins being a part of that 2011 state championship team. He has a chance to join a very select group. We saw Anthony Pagisa Farrell become a head coach who won this championship as a player. Of course, Farrell 95 and winning the title again this year. Eric Kasparovich, who won as a player for North Hills in 1993, as a head coach at Pine Richland in 2017. And Harold Fairclough, who won at 1993 Central Catholic, came back to guide his alma mater as a head coach. That's some rare company he has a chance to join.
Yeah, we're starting a Hall of Fame here with the coaches that are going to win championships that are players. It's amazing that we've had that many people right now, and a great opportunity for Kyle Atkins.
We're going to step aside. It was a record-setting afternoon here as Southern Columbia won a 10th gold ball. A state championship will highlight their win earlier this afternoon when we return.
Since 1934, PSECU has given Pennsylvanians financial opportunities to live a better life. We are a credit union who offers valuable free and low-fee financial products, broad lending options, and outstanding money management for financing life. At PSECU, we are proud of who we are and committed to who we serve because our Pennsylvania roots run deep. We are banking on a difference. Visit pseccu.com to join us. This credit union is federally insured by the National Credit Union Administration, Equal Opportunity Lender.